And salutations, I'm Ben, that's Tom, that's Terry. This is Canucks with Guitars, live Q&A, where there's already a queued in the chat. That and many more dad jokes coming up, folks. So, happy Monday for those that are celebrating, sure. And I'm going to get to roll call because I left it too long last night, Terry. And then we had 38 people in there. And then I'm going through a half-hour conversation, and I'm like, you know what? There's 29 right here. So I'm going to say, 30, 29, 30, 29. Quit refreshing, whoever that is. Max Josephson, Hip Metalworks, Symmetry, Joe Hervey 84, Dan of New Jersey, Tim Thomas, Janice Lala, T. Ricky, Thomas Santiago. We even have the invisible mic tonight. Why? Because I see last night's guest, BC Rich 581, made it into the chat. He's on the road. He's tuning in from the road. That's what I'm saying. Let the madness begin. Exactly, Hip Metalworks. Terry's 3Gs. Never heard of him. Nope. G. Marie Hawkins made it. Awesome. Early for Jimmy Ray. LRM Guitars is here. Fellow Canuck, I do believe. Yep, burp just festering right in the esophagus. There it is. Excuse me. Randy Crooks, that was a lot of onions. Polly Walnuts, Ryan Hall, Jeff P. Zach Thong, Michael Krause, Mike Jones. Back down at the bottom, just in case. Billy Baloney. See, didn't want to miss. Charles 75N. Hey, Charles, make it to the post office today?
No, it needed a touch-up.
I'm saying no, because I don't have a tracking numbered. That's what I'm saying. Guitar Man 45's here. Awesome. Anybody else rolling in? Sure, we'll go with that.
The dog
what do we got to discuss tonight? Questions? And oh, right, there was a question. Haha. Hey, Michael B. Oh, I like how the hyphenation. I like that. That works.
That's much better, Michael.
The dog pose here. No, we had a question. And it was right near the top. Yes. Not there. There it is. Ryan Hall asks, anybody know how good you would say a Digitech main squeeze is compared to a Keeley Compressor Plus? Well, a Keeley Compressor Plus is considered an industry standard. You're kind of looking at apples and polished apples. Not quite apples and oranges, Terry, because they're both compressors. But one's a little more boutique-y than the other one, is what I'm saying.
True.
Gentlemen, I'm going to say, given if they're worth the same amount of money that he's looking at, go with the Keeley. What do you guys think?
I would pretty much have to agree because, I mean, the Digitech main squeeze is probably a mass-produced product anyways.
I think the Keeley is at this point, but mass-produced at a higher standard.
But that's what I mean. It's more
like I don't know, like
boutique.
Digitech is likely a surface mount deal. I don't know if Keeley's surface mount at this point. Well, I suppose we could find out. I could open one up. You know, I have one back there, but it's 3 years old now, so I don't know. Although I doubt anything's changed in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
If Robert was going to cheap out, he would have cheaped out before I ever got it. So, Tom, what do you think?
I've never played either, so I guess
he's pleading the fifth. He can do that because he's American. Terry and I can't plead the fifth. I don't even know what the fifth item in our charter is, Terry. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with criminality. Well, it might then. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, in my defense, I haven't played either, but based on what I've seen for reviews and demos, you see more of the Keeley around.
Okay. No, these are American prices. Because Gear Junkie 35 being in America. Martin Lemaire is not. John Duchesne is not. A couple Canucks rolling in. Let's see here. Mike Jones says, I want to send you a pedal, Ben. What's your email? Right down at the very bottom of the description. CanucksWithGuitars@gmail.com.
Hey, Martin.
Gear Junkie 35 reporting in. He knows because he buys like 1,500 pedals a week or something. I don't know what it is. He says $45 used on a musician's friend for the main squeeze. You're looking at $1.25 for the Keeley. So basically, it's 3 times the money, but is it 3 times the pedal? You know, and as soon as I see Tom, when I see a pedal under $50,
yeah,
the bar, the standard for quality drops considerably. You know, because I'm like, all right, what is it?
Well, and that's what I was saying again, given the, you know, it's probably mass produced. So,
mass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Digitech
exactly.
was never boutique, you know.
Exactly.
But
other than
maybe
the
they were early
stuff.
days, I guess, early days of any company. Are you ever boutique? You know, like, I don't know. Like the first Behringer product, were they considered boutique? No.
Or anything from their later launched Hardwire series, that would be as close to
the hardwired stuff is sought after. I've been told that on multiple fronts that the hardwired stuff is in demand, if you will.
right.
Yeah.
Speaking of in demand, we got 40 people watching. Nope, 39 people watching. Fine. That one person that just left, they're not going to find out. That for channel members and patrons, which I'm going to read off the patrons early in the show for once, Terry. We're not going to wait an hour. Yes, I was just thinking that. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't, Terry. I know you weren't. But FYI to my patrons and members, or our patrons and members, because it's a community. We're doing a Zoom call this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and possibly, because I haven't exactly checked scheduling, in theory, Wednesday of next week at 7 p.m. Eastern. And you can become a patron at that address, or just search my name on the website. Get a shout out as well, because you don't have a toque next to your name in the chat, so people don't know. So I let people know. Like Mahogany, Randy Crooks, Other Left, Absolute Mayhem, Charles Green, Cousin Todd Flowers, Grumpy Mike Guitar, Blackjack Guitar, Bent Tom, Fruitcake Tony, JP Page 2, John ZD351, Charles 75N, fucking believable. Knucklehead 0, because he is. Keith H, Joe C, Paul McNary, Symmetry, and Guitar Man 45. Several of these folks we've seen sometimes on community hangs, and other times we see them on Zoom calls. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Travis is here. More Canucks. Roll them in.
So I found something on robertkeeley.com, but it doesn't say whether or not that's surface mount. He just says, and this was as of October 2018, they brought everything back stateside, I guess, but it says that the through-hole designs are done in-house and surface mounts are done, the surface mount designs are done out of state in Missouri, but it doesn't say what pedal is what.
Missouri.
Which, yeah, exactly.
Well, I just happen to have a Keeley compressor plus here and a screwdriver.
There you go. That gets right to it.
No,
Hey,
we
Scott.
shall find out.
Ryan Hall
Scott.
mentioned here. Ben got 2 hardwire pedals. Super love them. Did hardwire. Is there a compressor? I don't know.
The Hardwire series, I think, had a compressor in it. A compressor in the series of pedals.
I would think so.
is.
Did I say hey to Milt? Hey, Milt. Milt producing half of this week's videos because, you know.
Wow.
He supplied the soda pop, so that's kind of producing them. Created them, I guess, came up with the idea because he chose the pops.
That's a really good deal then, Chris. $50 for an EVH phase.
Oh, dang. Really? Yeah, because that's, you figure you're paying extra for them to clip out the R28 or R24. I never remember which one.
Right.
Clipping out the resistor, you know, which they charge you more for less, is what I'm saying, Tom, right? They take out the resistor and yet charge more for the fancy font.
Special. Yeah, right.
And then there's going to be a premium for that paint job, you know. You got, because, you know, Eddie has to get paid.
You got to pay EVH.
Exactly. So $50, dang. You can't get a regular Phase 90 for that.
I don't think so.
John DeShane has members on the way. See,
Michael.
I saw. I don't know whose chat it was, guys, but John and Lawrence were talking in the chat, and you know how Lawrence is. He's like, what are you looking to do? Oh, well, one of these would help a fella out. And it will. Because he's got the BEOD Deluxe or BE100 Deluxe. I don't know which is which. But John's got a Friedman that goes loud, Tom, is what I'm saying. And so, and I know you have a Marshall or two that go loud. And you know what the Embers does in front of it. So,
oh, yeah.
I think he's going to enjoy.
I think so, too.
Travis wants to sell his Voice Tech pedal for $50. Well, what kind of... that was the thing that came out the other day. I was like, that sounds familiar. Where have I heard that? Strat's fine, Mike.
Octopus Ears, hello. And Michael Krause says, so I feel like parting with some money. Do I go for a Paul Reed Smith SE Bernie Marsden for $500 or a USA G&L Legacy for $650?
Ooh. That's a toss-up. Because I think, unfortunately, not enough people know who the hell Bernie Marsden is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't even know who he was until somebody mentioned Whitesnake, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I thought it was a business card until I actually, as I'm picking it out, it actually says insulator plate, do not remove. So that says 100% handmade.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. You just stay, okay? And I'm not sure why you put a website on the inside of the pedal, but sure. At first glance, I'm going to say that is not surface mount, only because the little dots that aren't in focus, as opposed to the big things that aren't in focus, they appear to be holes, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they're almost there. So
yeah, it's point-to-point solder PCB.
I don't.
So.
Yeah, and I can't without removing knobs and stuff. I can't pull the board out any further.
Right.
So we'll just say that's what that was.
It's no different than my Alray FX Lucha Fuzz,
Ooh.
which they claim to be hand-wired and such.
And I just want to point out, unlike Lawrence, Robert believes in batteries.
Yeah.
Health update, Tom? Mike's asking.
Doing okay. I have a little bit of a stomach bug going on now, but
there we go.
And a little bit of a cold, but we'll see. Working through.
Hey, Hobo Roadie. So Bernie Marsden or the Legacy. Now that the Legacy is the Strat style?
Yeah, I believe it's a Strat.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, too, is he says USA now. Is that an actual USA-produced one? Like,
yes.
Used for $650 versus a Marsden SE? Is the SE a new one or a used?
I'd say they're both used for that price. Because even the import Marsden's a nice guitar.
Yeah.
So
that's
why,
say.
I'm like, they both sound like used prices. Plus, if you think it sounds a little pricey, Terry, just figure that $100 is the post-COVID tax. Like everything's gone up $100.
Mm-hmm. I would say, given the basis of the G&L being a USA produced G&L, I'd probably give it the advantage.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was thinking G&L suck for resale value, and Marsden's name, I don't know how well that, I don't know. It's a coin toss. It depends. Do you want humbuckers or single coils? That's the big deal, because I think it's basically they're both good prices for what they are. So,
Marsden's
you're not getting hosed
cut
on either one, and you can get your money back out of either one. So,
yeah, the Marsden would be a single coil with humbuckers, and the Legacy would obviously be like.
I thought the Marsden was two humbuckers because it's a takeoff of his signature.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Two humbuckers, single cut.
Yeah, single cut. Okay, yeah, I didn't hear that. I hear single. Hey, Paul, pull up a seat. Excuse me. Not a problem, Ryan. It's here. And no, I'm not going to plug it in because I got nothing. We don't have an interface set up at this time. if and when we get the interface set up, I may plug something in on occasion.
It may
Maybe.
not be.
If
may
you
not
all are
be-
good and eat all your vegetables, brush your teeth.
It may not be quote unquote handmade in the USA, but it is hand assembled.
Oh, that's
In the
electroharmonics. Everything's basically done in Vietnam, and then they just.
But
throw
you
it
know what I
into
mean?
the
Like
case.
people, there's no. I don't think there's any manufacturers in the U.S. or here in Canada that do PCB boards. I think it's all pretty much outsourced into China, right?
I
Or
don't
out
think so.
of North
I don't think
America.
there's lots of PC boards being built within North America. I don't think Lawrence is getting his PC boards, for instance, out of China. I think he's got a guy, I can't remember where, but it's like the guy I think that everybody uses. It's a guy. There's a guy that doesn't, type
Yeah,
thing. So
well, that's what I said. I'm not 100%
it's not
sure.
that bad. Like, yeah, you are washing PC boards in acid, assuming it's still done the same way with.
Etching,
I can't remember the type of acid, but it's an acid.
Yeah.
It's blue. Well, at least the stuff I used was blue. But yeah, I don't know how much of it gases off per se, where that becomes an environmental issue. Like I didn't even wear a mask. I think I was supposed to, but I didn't. I wore the rubber gloves. I wasn't that stupid. All right, here we are. $40. What's this for $40? Gear Junkie 35 reporting in. Oh, that definitely looks like a knockoff of the Keeley compressor. Like let's be honest.
What the hell brand is that?
That's
exactly almost.
Demon Effects. They're the ones that I think same way that did that Tube Screamer 808 thing I have. That they literally, we're gonna name it TS 808 and Tube Screamer. I'm like, you can't do that. And we're gonna paint it green. What do you think of that, Ibanez? Yes, and teasing in the background, which I said they should bring back the other day, the Charvettes. I mentioned that during Steve from Boston show. Charvel, because you can't buy a cheap Charvel, Tom. The cheapest ones are made in Mexico. It's Mexico or USA.
And they're not cheap.
Fender, FMIC. You got plants with relationships in Indonesia, China, Korea, Japan. Can one of them build an import Charvel, Tom, and bring back the Charvette name just for the hell of it?
Yeah.
According to what Scott says, no one etches anymore.
Really? Well, I stand corrected then. Well, somebody's got to do it. Who etches it? Well, you got to etch it somehow. Like, how would you do it if you don't etch it?
He said they're CNC'd now. I'm sure they just etch a whole sheet. They probably have a machine that etches an entire
like
sheet.
They CNC off the copper and leave the wafer board? How's that work?
I
want to see that done. I'm going to have to.
You're going to have to be something like that. How it's made videos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find that out.
I think a lot of people have known that for a while, Scott. Newsflash, everyone rips off everyone.
Ooh, laser. Yeah.
Yeah, laser, yeah.
Lasers.
Those lasers.
Somebody freaking sharks with lasers. Just throw the PC boards into the tank. And the sharks get them with their lasers.
Laser gun.
Okay. Yeah.
Our effects are laser shark etched.
I saw a video the other day. It's a clip from some video game, and this guy goes, "Effing laser sights."
But getting back to the original question between the two guitars, at the end of the day, if you're able to actually go and play them, go and play them. Then decide.
Both.
Well, that's the simplest solution above all.
Especially if it's the same dude. Because it was $500 and $650. You might be able to get them both for $1,000. Sell the one you don't like at maybe $100 profit, and now you're into one of them for $400. We'll say
that's the deal.
What's that? Oh, it's just a random notification. That means nothing. I don't need to know that.
I kept getting phone calls today, and they were all like telemarketer or like just garbage, and I'm like, why are you bothering me?
Yeah. That's how I was today. I had private caller and then 1866. It's like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
866 number.
It seems like I get a rash of them all at once.
They rarely call me because I mess with them. As soon as I see a call, you get
unknown caller or something like that. Yeah.
You get a hello. Did you say you used my credit card? And I'll just
hold on. Let me get the wife.
And then they're like, oh, we got one. And as soon as they start going into their thing, then also, oh wait, you're in Sector 5, right? Click. And I don't hear back for 3 months.
There was a recent YouTube video. A guy actually kept calling the call center.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually, after 2 hours, he actually had the phone number totally not callable back. I was like, that's awesome.
So let's see. Any questions, folks? I'm just curious. Questions, comments, things in the news. Apparently, I don't know. Did Wolfgang win a Grammy last night? Anybody check into that? I was busy doing a show. Apparently, did a hell of a tribute to Joni Mitchell. That made the news.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Yeah, she got some lifetime award thing, tribute thing.
I felt bad, man. She looked so bad. I was flipping through watching different things on other channels, and I saw her up there really quick with Bonnie Raitt, and she looked rough.
Yeah, wow. Bonnie Raitt still looks really good for her age.
They were showing one of the last interviews she had done with the CBC on last night's news. It was from 2013. She's still smoking darts 8 years ago, Tom. So she probably, and she's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it. I'm like, she had all those quote-unquote folky type hits, and then she went the whole jazz electric route, and whole second career there. And then that wasn't, by the 80s, that wasn't really doing it. So she's like, screw it. I'm just going to concentrate on my painting. And, amazing painter. Oh, okay. Foo Fighters won. All right. Well,
that's not
I can't fault that.
I know a lot of Joni Mitchell's health stuff comes from the fact that she had polio when she was 9 and she's been sick her whole life because of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
She's in her 70s too, so I mean, it's not like she's a spring chicken either.
Is all that going into front of amp, Chris? If so, I just flip the phaser and the wah. You should have your wah first. Wah's like it first. Yes, Jocko did great work with Joni. How old is Joni Mitchell? That's a question. I want to say 74.
74.
I want to say 74. That seems like the age.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too.
J. Johnny A says, I loved when you could send a Boss pedal to be modded. Does anyone still do that?
I don't know.
I think there's a few people.
Joni is 78.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's what I said. She's not exactly young. She's quite up there.
Did Wolfgang hump her?
Oh my God, who put that?
I don't know if anyone still does it. I mean, obviously Keeley used to do it, but I would guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Keeley doesn't do mods anymore. I don't know who mods pedals anymore. Does JHS still do mods?
I don't know.
I believe so. Well, at least they did. Let me do a quick check then.
I mean, you could probably find out what the JHS mod to a Boss pedal is or what the Keeley mod is and have someone else do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So there you go. Dogcliffe said Analog Man mods a lot of pedals, but they're on a 2-year waiting list yet.
Well, apparently they do have a mod shop, though it's Japan.
Hey, Doug. You did make it.
Okay, well, according to what this says here on JHS Pedals, it says Mod Shop. Please note that all mods have been discontinued at this point in time.
In other words, we're too busy making actual pedals to mod other people's pedals.
Yeah.
They should put an addendum at the bottom. We recommend you contact the original manufacturer and recommend they improve their product design to incorporate our mods as standard features.
Yeah, they got quite a bit of Boss pedals that they've modded.
You would think Boss would finally catch up on that.
That's a good question, Kev. Why are you still awake? Because it's 1:26 a.m.
I
We're
mean,
told.
Boss, all they have to do is slap the Wazacraft name on it and steal one of Robert Keeley's mods or one of JHS's, and there you go. They don't have to pay for
Oh,
it.
Okay, one of the funniest. There's two funny things here on this JHS mod shop. The one pedal brand you would never think that you would actually mod. Joyo.
Oh, there you go.
There's a Joyo Vintage Overdrive modded and a Joyo Crunch Distortion modded.
A mod costs more than the pedal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
The single
what the heck?
resistor totally improves the sound, but the single resistor costs as much as that pedal.
It's like the kid in high school that had the car that was $300
Appreciate it, T.
with
Ricky.
a $2,000 stereo in it, you know?
Yes, I should mention that. Thanks for bringing that up, T. Ricky. All super chats, channel memberships, and patrons and or PayPal, anything monetary that's coming to the channel this month, for those who don't know, who haven't watched one of the exclusive videos for the patrons and members, I mentioned to them was, Tom, I want a barbecue.
There you go.
I've never owned a barbecue. I've used barbecues. I love barbecues. I don't own a barbecue. I was supposed to get a barbecue 2 years ago for my birthday because my mom decided you need a barbecue. I'm like, I do. And so we had a rain check for a barbecue that was on sale that we liked. Never got the barbecue. So I was straightening up the living room. And I was like, Christmas cards. They do not need to be there, right? It's March. We don't need Christmas cards. Found a $50 gift card for Crappy Tire in there. Sorry, Canadian Tire, for people who don't know what Crappy Tire is. But wait, people are like, why would you go to Canadian Tire, a tire store, for a barbecue? Because they sell more than tires. They started with tires. Then they got into tires and auto parts. Then they got into tires, auto parts, and hardware. Then they got into tires, auto parts, hardware, and sporting goods. Then they got into tires, hardware, sporting goods, and kitchen appliances. And then, or not like tabletop, crappy appliances, not fridges and stoves. Oh my! You know, now they sell clothes and groceries and camping gear. They did a lot of camping gear.
Yeah, camping gear was one of their very first kind of major things. Food, the only thing I don't see from them food-wise is actually frozen meats.
No, I'm not kidding, Hep Metalworks. No, that's not true. You're right. I did own a barbecue in the 90s, Tom. I owned a hibachi.
Hey, fruitcake.
I used it twice because I don't want to wait an hour before I start cooking my food.
I was going to ask, so what type are you talking here? Are you talking gas, charcoal?
Propane.
Propane, yeah. Gas.
Just a simple propane barbecue.
I like the idea of charcoal, but it always just becomes a pain in the
Chris,
ass.
you're more than welcome to come by for a barbecue once I get the barbecue. I'm conveniently located right off the highway. Thanks,
all of a
Tony.
sudden,
Yes,
all of a sudden there's a great big flock of cars coming off the highway. What's going on? There's a Canucks with guitars barbecue.
Absolutely,
man.
man.
I'm not getting into quality barbecue. I just want
to be the contrarian and say pellet. That is funny.
No one does mods because all the pedal makers have gone surface mount boards instead of hole through and are now very impossible to mod, or very near impossible to mod. I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd like to do charcoal and wood too, John, but time. I'd like to be able to just heat it up, Tom. You know, just and while it's doing its thing, I can go inside, grab my shit together.
Get your stuff, yep.
You know, just. Yeah, that's true, BC. Yeah, that jackknifing truck. Tom, you missed that one. The loudest Jake break I've ever heard. We're sitting here talking. I was like,
out in front.
I'm like, holy crap! Like I thought it was coming in the house,
coming through the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, he was using, and then I heard a bunch of slow down after that. So, Canucks with guitars, weenie roast. Definitely, we can do that. Canucks with weenies. Terry's like, where's Twang? Twang's my DD for this event. NASCAR barbecue. Yeah, we could have some fruit jars and guitars. We could do another. We could, dare I say, Terry, I could do a second Canuck Con, but I'll just have it here because that's a lot easier.
Barbecue sausage fest. I know what would happen to me though, Mayhem. What would happen was I would get it, and then I would be out of pellets and be like, damn it, can't have barbecue.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yes,
sad to say.
I would also have to get
Saturday or
sausages
Sunday
too,
night.
just so we can call it the Canucks with Guitar Sausage Fest.
There you go. Even if it's a Saturday or Sunday night and you're out of gas, chances are you can find a gas station that you can go out and do a swap.
And as soon as we call it that, then the camera pans to Amanda. She's like, then what am I doing here? Which, if you're wondering why she isn't in the chat tonight, she is at her farewell party this evening.
Yeah, it's nice that they're doing that for her. I mean, mind you, though, that has been a
21
long
years.
time that...
She was with the company. Well, she wasn't even with TD for 21 years because she was with Canada Trust before they got bought out by...
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mel. Yeah. I don't know what chicks, but women, yes. Ladies.
Cheap.
I don't think there's any actual chicks watching.
Hey, never know.
I
YouTube
haven't
is
used
strange
that term in a
enough.
long time. I'm trying to be good these days. Trying to be good. Any broads watching? No. Ladies, women, females, fellas, and fellettes.
Mayhem's trying to sell me on the pellet.
Mike Jones says, think of your computer as one giant pedal, just more versatile. Feed your guitar signal with the interface and let the box do its
there
thing.
you go. Janice is here. She said, I'm a chick.
Doesn't quite resonate the same with me. Okay, Janice, if you identify as a chick, then hey, chick.
Smoky.
No, we're not doing anything maple-based, Jimmy Ray. That's just
I
not
was
right.
just going to say that, Jimmy Ray with the maple bacon.
Smoking meat with smoke bombs. I dig it.
I love maple. Ben, not so much.
I like that hobo roadie. Birds. No underage stuff here. Janice, you are definitely
yes,
relevant.
you're definitely relevant, Janice.
Janice is single-handedly skewing the demographic this evening. Thank you, Janice. At least that I know of. We may have some lurkers because 54 people watching. Any guitar questions? Just curious. Octopus here has a question. Sure, let's go for racing. Yes. I'm a motocross and supercross fan. Never got into those, although I did spend a lot of time growing up at motorcycle races. Road racing style, super bikes. Excuse me. My uncle was a very successful motorcycle racer, and he's now in the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Nice.
He's raced Daytona, like all over North America. Canadian champion, raced overseas, but he did Le Mans, or he was at Le Mans. I don't know if he actually started the race. I can't remember. He made it to Le Mans, Terry. That's what I'm saying. He made it there, but I don't know if the bike really worked. It was very experimental. Like literally, we're going to take the pistons from this company and put them into the block this company's, and and this and that. It smokes a lot till it heats up and stuff expands, and you're just like, okay.
Well, let's also hope he also made it to Le Mans too, or Le Mans.
Le Mans. We don't pronounce really the N or the S. Hey, Joe. Le Mans. Miguel Duhamel. I assume that's who hit Mel were start. I remember when all the Dumels raced, because I'm that old. Miguel was the last. There was Mario, Miguel, and another brother. My uncle, I think Miguel started when my uncle was still racing.
Joe Hervey raced in his bathtub as a kid. Was your vehicle gas powered?
Race in the bathtub.
I remember when I was a really little kid, I used to love farting in the bathtub.
Does that mean you're trying to steer around floaters?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. I figure I'd look for a photo of my uncle riding.
I won't make the obvious joke because it's too obvious.
Janice, yuck.
But I saw an adorable female puppy today. We were on our walk, and this dog just comes out, and I could tell it had to be between like maybe 8 to 12 weeks old. Because you know when they do that thing where they're still hopping like this, they don't really know how to run yet.
No.
And I was like, "What's up, dude?" And then I just took it.
All right, here we go. There's my uncle. So I sat on this bike a lot. This is when he would have been defending the championship. Cool. His regular number was number 20. That's why it's on the helmet, because you couldn't afford a new helmet. Yeah. Some of these photos I've never even seen. Yeah, there we go. That would be him at Le Mans, probably, because that's the tri-mill bike. I see it mentioning there.
Hello, LPD Pedals.
What's up, Sir Lawrence of the Pedals? Apparently there's him on a Formula bike. That's early in his career. Oh, yeah, back when he ran at BSA. That's early in his career.
Tony's rubbing it in. He gets to go see Mammoth and Dirty Honey tomorrow with Charles Green.
Nice. That is probably out in California.
John DeShane likes tub fart reverb. That could be a new pedal.
Apparently, there's more recent photo
reverb.
The retro bike.
No, there's another gear question finally.
Hey, Tom, you want to see the first onboard camera for a motorcycle? Check that out.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Battery on the other side. And that he's wearing a backpack to carry the recording portion of it.
I was going to say, don't turn too quick or your whole neck will get cranked.
How crazy is that? Eh?
Talk about the original GoPro.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right, Terry.
That's like going pro.
That was like 1980, 81. Crazy. Yeah, there's some a YouTube video. There's from him doing an interview on one of the YouTube videos. That was where was that? Superbike Challenge. That was actually just down the road here at Shannonville. The track I would go to every time he raced. It's literally on the other side of Belleville, on the res. And it'd be like
if there was a video and he was like, "Yeah, give it 20 or 30 years, it'll be all the rage." Now everyone on a motorcycle has a GoPro.
There you go, Chris. Yep, been to all those tracks many times. Obviously, Brighton Speedway. Spent a decade there working on teams, mostly Mossport road course. My Uncle Lang held the track record there, nice. Tom, for a decade or more.
That's cool.
Because, like most super bikes, they limited to 750cc by the mid-'80s. But he muscled a 1,000cc KZ 1000 around there in the early 80s. Just, no room. Hey, Brian. And so, Brian. Which was funny because a guy who worked... Yeah. A guy who worked for Team Kawasaki or Kawasaki Canada in the early 80s was at that test session or whatever it was when my uncle set the track record. Let's fast forward, Tom, literally 20 plus years. I'm working at a call center here in Belleville, right? We're outside having a smoke one night, and I'm talking with a buddy of mine. Ironically, his name was Terry. And we were talking motorcycles because he was into bikes. I was like, yeah, my uncle used to hold the track record at Mossport. So this guy comes walking up, Tom, like looking at me like I'm the ultimate bullshitter. He's like, oh, really? He goes, I used to work with a guy. We set the track record at Mossport. I was like, oh, yeah? How long to hold? He goes, oh, a good decade. I was like, really? That's impressive because my uncle held the track record for a decade. He's like, yeah, I'm sure he did, buddy. I'm sure he did. I was like, yeah. He goes, wait, who's your uncle? I'm like, Lang Handel. I'm like, who was your rider that day? He goes, Lang Handel. So we're literally talking about the same event.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Octopus Ears says at 8:38, gear-related question. Have you heard of a company called AS? He basically copies two preamps and makes them into a pedal format. I just bought his SLO 100 preamp and it rocks.
Not aware.
Not aware of them.
Where's
he out of?
Milt, you're correct. My uncle did set a world record in 1981 for most distance covered in 24 hours. And he rode most of it. And then Milt mentioned Daytona, which ironically I found not too long ago. I believe this is it. Photos I took while I was down in Daytona. This would have been, 1993. Oh, an actual photo. Huh? Ran a photo of a chopper back in the day.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice. More cars. Oh, Milt. One of Milt's faves. This is a random T-Bird. Yeah, this is old school when I'm showing actual photographs. Because I had to snap the photo. Daytona pace car. Which, Terry, I'll put this one aside. Maybe showing that one on NAS Canucks.
That's true.
Sort of like, high tech. When the AMA, American Motorcycle Association, takes over the pit area for inspections, they just put their sign over the NASCAR sign.
Very high tech.
Oh, dear Lord. It's a photo of me from high school. I don't know if we will show that one on air.
So I was going to say you're going to skip that one.
Oh, my God. There's one grade 8 graduation. Maybe. Photo didn't turn out, but here's a photo of me getting my first tattoo ever.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and apparently a random Christmas card.
Like that.
Oh, and IROC Z Blues, the hot dog is still fine.
Oh, dear Lord. That's wrong.
Yes, actually, now with the better webcam, you can see the mug in better detail now.
Nice.
I just found a photo of myself wearing possibly, Terry, a sleeveless Motley Crue shirt, high top sneakers, tight jeans, and posing with my Lester Pulphus
Oh,
in my
wow.
backyard. Yeah, I didn't even know that photo existed.
Your original one?
Yeah. You don't see it straight
Wow.
on. It's such a cheesy pose. I don't know if I want to show it. I have 3 cheesy photos here. One of which is kind of blurry, where I'm hanging out with my cousin. Outside of Hindle Exhaust Systems, ironically enough. Grade 8 graduation photo of me and best friend at the time. And then we have the posing one. But I'm not showing them for free, folks. I am not showing those for free.
Scott, I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. No.
Doug Strong is saying he was considering pausing his year of the pedal in order to buy a new amp or guitar. And he said after doing the math, he said he's not able to do it. He said, so he's back on the pedal train again. Happy or sad, I don't know.
Sorry, who was that?
Doug Strong. It would depend on.
My first tattoo did not say play authentic. There we go. Sarah paused my ear at the pedal in order to buy a new amp or guitar.
To me, it would depend on the guitar or the pedal that you were initially looking at.
All right, John.
Yes, Ben can be bribed.
Don't fucking judge. Well, I don't know. That's right on the cusp. That might be 2 out of 3. That's everything but the pose, I think. All right. Should we go in chronological order? Grade 8 graduation. I know it is, Terry, because I'm wearing a tie.
Yeah.
And it's leather.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get her to focus. There we go.
Actually, it's not bad though.
Yeah.
Leather
Yeah. All right.
You
See, a
definitely
theme.
look like you could have been on one of those like kids drama shows on CBC there.
Okay, so these are all within a couple years of each other, probably, because I see a theme of black jeans, Tom. All right, so this would be outside of the headquarters of Hindle Exhaust Systems at the time, Terry. This looks around 1990, judging by, because I'm wearing a Motley Crue shirt. My cousin's wearing a Joker t-shirt, which is actually my shirt.
McFly.
I'm rocking the side part, and I don't know what the pose is about, but...
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Let's see if that side part focuses. You'll notice a couple motorcycle exhaust systems sitting on the driveway because they'd just been painted. All right, will this focus? Focus closer, closer. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what Motley Crue shirt that is, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that became sleeveless for the next photo.
Nice.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that, Doug Strong. My cousin in the photo used to be an extra on Degrassi from time to time. But I'm gonna need another super chat to show that last one because that's just it's embarrassing. I'm pointing. I think looks like I'm pointing off. Yeah, it's totally staged photo.
Nice.
But no matter what, Terry, I'd say tune into all live streams because the next super chat that comes through, regardless of show, I'm showing this. Oh, it's a Polaroid too. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's embarrassing enough. I may have to throw it on. You were already
BC
in the
Rich. I don't
that.
think that ever could have been possible. Degrassi meets Trailer Park Boy. It's just too. That would be too clashy and too hard to actually try to mix.
I was going to say, I don't know.
I used to watch Degrassi when I was younger.
Let's see, Chris from Coburg, since we're the same age, and since he knew I went to ENSS and he knows the crowd. The crowd was, I don't know, Degrassi meets the Beachcombers.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of thermal plaid come wintertime. So, yes. But, yeah, I will. Wow, I'm wearing high tops too, Tom.
Nice.
Tongues out over the pant legs because the pant legs are so skinny. They gotta go down. Speaking of which, holy crap! I went to Walmart the other day for the first time. I'm pointing that way because I'm excited. Where it is. They had high tops at Walmart, Tom. I was like, I don't want to buy expensive high tops, but I'd buy a shitty pair.
Yeah.
Randy put the 10.
Last one, Ben.
Knew that was gonna happen.
All right. In all fairness, I was probably 15, maybe 16 in this photo. Probably 16. Here we go, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's cool. I like that photo.
Look at those shoes.
Awesome.
You should recreate that, but with some high tops from Wally World.
So there it is.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see Ben recreate that now.
I don't own any black jeans at the moment. But I do have multiple sleeveless black shirts I can wear, that's for sure. My God. And to think, Tom, I was doing that exact pose 25 years later on a stage.
Ben, yep.
What kind of guitar? That is a 1972 Les Paul Deluxe Tobacco Burst, which I may or may not have found at what? Again,
Tons of music.
That's it, Terry. See, I was pointing at it, and you knew right away.
Because I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a close up of the guitar. Focus. Focus.
Yeah, even going by like
Well,
you can see it there. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that looked like it had a nice burst on it.
Did plain top.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of two photos. See, I remember, my cousin and me were taking photos. And I had the photo of me playing my acoustic, kind of posing it up. Fender acoustic. But I don't remember taking this one. And I have posted, like, I took a photo of the photo and posted.
John Deshane, the OG Stevie T.
Oh man, that was good.
On stage, out standing in his foot. Yep. Exactly.
Is Ben my dad?
Yeah, like we didn't even have the forethought, Tom, to like have my cousin like get down on the ground so he could shoot upward, so you'd see sky, not the lawn.
Yeah, but if you took a photo of that photo, you could put like Photoshop in so many cool background things.
Yeah,
because you're just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I might post that online at some point, but yeah, there's 3 interesting photos. I should put the one up with me and my cousin just because it embarrassed the fuck out of him because he has no social media presence other than owning accounts. So I tagged the fuck out of him because I haven't seen him in 20 years.
Dogwood said, "Are you pointing or is that in the middle of a Pete Townsend windmill?"
Yes.
Windmill, excuse me. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Kush man.
That's
So
awesome.
after that embarrassment, I'm going to smoke a bowl. Yeah. So. Rocking
Never watched the Drake days. That episode.
I forgot I rocked a
Wheels
sidecar all
fans.
through high school.
Oh yeah, that's right. That Wheels episode. Yeah, that was groundbreaking, especially for CBC to air something like that.
Yep. Now, what was the precursor, Terry, to Degrassi High?
Oh.
See you, Chris.
Degrassi Junior High.
You're right, Tom.
What was it?
What came before Degrassi Junior High?
Oh, that I don't know.
Degrassi Street. It was a
Oh,
brief show
okay.
before. Yeah, and I can't remember if it's the same kids or not, but they would have essentially, I don't know, been like fourth, fifth graders or something, and
Yeah,
then
I watched the
and then
junior
they
high,
went
but
to junior high and then high.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first one.
Yeah,
And
because
then
the
they
only
brought-
thing I knew about was Degrassi High, and then like Degrassi the Next Generation or something like that, and then like they had they had Degrassi, and then they had like 2
all I
other
know is
ones
somehow
after.
Alanis
something like
Morissette became the principal.
that. Yeah, that's funny. Never too hot, never too cold.
See, I couldn't have long hair in high school necessarily, John. That was about I couldn't get much longer than that because I worked at my parents' restaurant, and it was mostly seniors. And you think you hear some derogatory stuff nowadays. I was called, like, as soon as the hair started touching the collar, Tom,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I mentioned, I remember a couple stories to you off air, let alone when I got my ear pierced.
Oh, I
Hey,
went through all
Karen,
that
do you
too.
mind get me another coffee, Karen? I was like, do you want me to spit in your food, or do you want me to have you kicked out? Because the family owns the place. Like, I can kick you out. My parents will side with me over
I
you.
remember
Bubba.
when my hair was really long so many times. Hey there, cutie.
Yeah, Degrassi, Saved by the Bell, they were kind of both that generational kind of show, I would say. One for Canada, one for US. Well, actually,
Yeah,
probably
but-
North America, really.
At least Degrassi actually tried to hit on some somewhat serious topics. Like, they hit on teenage pregnancy and drug use and stuff like that, even if it was kind of ABC after school special kind of way of doing it. It's the 80s. Whereas Saved by the Bell was pretty much just...
I'm so excited! I'm so excited!
Oh, that's to lose control.
Exactly,
That's
Doug
how
Frog.
I like it.
The OG
And
show
then-
with all the kids, they didn't look like pretty actors. Like, it was rather fortunate that the actors did grow into being attractive teenagers. That did not hurt, but...
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always loved about
Well, I will
English.
say, Terry, a few of the kids got replaced over the years with better-looking kids.
It
always
doesn't
love that.
surprise me.
I always love that about British TV shows. They're not afraid to put ugly actors in a show.
Anybody could be an actor in England if you're talented enough, or at least
Yeah.
you should.
BC Rich, I'm scaring you. Why? I wasn't Elizabeth Berkley and do Showgirls.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about that. She did that in Saved by the Bell, and then later she does Showgirls, and it's like,
Billy Baloney grew up in Rainbow Country.
Unbelievable. Yeah. What show did you tune into?
I don't know. Unbelievable. We're at the portion of the show talking about Canadian television programming that may or may not made it south of the border, which I think obviously Degrassi did to a point because Kevin Smith became a fan of it somehow. Although that might have been when he was going to school in Vancouver that he discovered it. I don't know.
Well,
all right, Lawrence,
for one.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Take
Night,
care,
Lawrence. I know for one, I don't think the Friendly Green Giant, I don't think it made it to the south.
No. But he made it in my restaurant.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
Well, he ended up, when he retired, I don't know where they shot the show.
Yeah.
But he ended up he moved to Grafton, which is Trenton, Brighton, Colborne, Grafton, which is like a village of 500 people type thing. So, but yeah, he used to come in our restaurant once in a while. I didn't even recognize him. And then, because first of all, he wasn't that tall. I think by the time I recognized him,
you'd have to imagine they must have really worked the camera angle to make him look tall.
And we're just all like, oh, far out, Friendly Giant here. This is awesome.
I guess he did away with his bowl haircut then too.
Oh yeah. Like I think he was balding, if not bald. Like I think most of those shows were shot back in the 70s, and they just re-aired.
Yeah.
Shows forever and a day, Just,
I know.
3-year-olds don't have the longest attention span. When you're watching a show from the age 3, let's say through 7, we'll say, ages 3 through 7, Polka Dot Door, TV Ontario, public broadcasting, Polka Dot Door,
Polka Dot
back
Door.
in the day. Terry, remember again budgets? You got the Pokeroo character, Tom. You always had a man and a woman hosting the show with some puppets and shit. Typical kid stuff.
Yeah.
The dude would always fart off halfway through the show. And all of a sudden, Pokeroo shows up, and then he leaves, and the guy comes back. He's, I missed him again. By age 4, I'm like, it's just the dudes dressed up in the Pokeroo costume. How do I know?
Hey, how you doing? It's Pokeroo.
The last episode, the shorter dude had a shorter Pokeroo in it.
Romper Room, and then we had Captain Kangaroo, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, Romper Room, I think, is...
Captain Kangaroo had the worst hairpiece.
Yep.
And the weirdest jackets.
Leaf
Jerry
game in the
Lewis and
background.
Graham, there you go.
Yeah. But I don't know if that was originally a Canadian programming show to begin with. Same thing, another one too, Hammy Hamster.
That was actually France, I believe.
I remember when Nickelodeon came to the U.S. and I was so happy.
Let's be honest. Actually, it wasn't called Hammy Hamster. It was On the Riverbank. Was the actual title of the show. Mm-hmm. And then it got rebooted as Hammy Hamster because that's what all the kids called it. But pre-Elmo Sesame Street. Yeah, I don't think Elmo was in by the time I got out of Sesame Street. But I think Elmo came in as my sister was just finishing up Sesame Street. And Sesame Street was good enough that if my 3-year-old sister wanted to watch it, Tom, at age 7, I'm like, all right. Like even age 8, you're like, all right, like some of the stuff's still entertaining enough that you're like, all right, like it's not annoying.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be like Teletubbies on or something like that.
Right.
Well,
this is true, Michael Crows.
Yeah.
And I always, have you noticed, Terry, the last few weeks, I really have been getting Steve wound up on that. He's like, why would she never say Steve? It's not such a rare name. I'm like, maybe her ex's name was Steve. And he's like, and then he went to the whole conspiracy thing, Tom. He's like, I think we have a working theory now. Ben's called.
I think another Canadian show.
Throwing me under the bus a couple of times. Like, I'm only doing one shout out per person, except for Ben Coombs. I'm shooting him out all night.
Yeah, and then I say boo, and then he's like, okay, Terry too.
People, I'm like, what did I do? I just said, hey, folks, just did my usual stuff.
I was going to say the littlest hobo, I think, made it down to the U.S., but I could be wrong.
Maybe. Yeah, Sherilyn, Lois, and Graham, that was a big Canadian export.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
I don't think your cousin's show made it down.
We were tied into, as in the family, we knew a fair amount of children's entertainers because, hey, Tom,
Up and stuff.
you know what happened to all the folkies that were the Dylan disciples in the early half of the 60s through the 60s? You know, they were still doing the folky thing because, you know, Joni Mitchell was popular and Neil. By the 70s, they all became children's entertainers.
That's true. What's his name there?
Music.
That did
Off the
American
Magic Dragon.
Pie.
Have you really read the lyrics? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
My
like you
Secret
were saying.
Identity. Janice. Nice. Because she American. And My Secret Identity, for those who don't know, what's his name? Jerry O'Connell. That was his first TV show.
Yes.
When it was a 12 or 13-year-old, maybe 14-year-old Tom, neighborhood, suburbanite boy solving crimes with his middle-aged neighbor sidekick weird thing, and he had a single mom. And My Secret Identity, it was called. And
That
he was
sounds
a
very
superhero.
sketchy.
Yeah, he's like a teenage superhero, so it's kind of Smallville, but it's Canadian, so it's cheap as fuck. And my cousin Lee was on that show a
kind
lot.
of familiar.
He actually knew Jerry O'Connell for a while. Like, they became friends for a while at that time. Should have kept in touch with old Jer when he moved south, Terry. It's just what I'm saying. Should have kept in touch with him. Although he's president of Hindle Exhaust System. He's doing all right for himself. But I'm just saying,
Now, the Anna Green Gables TV series, I believe, did make it down to the U.S. But that's kind of more, not really kids, but...
No milk. I don't know where he lived. He was like Dad's third cousin, I think. So, yes, the large kid from Stand By Me. He thinned down by
fly or
his
run very
preteen.
fast.
Right. But not well. It's kind of Greatest American Hero meets Smallville.
I was just gonna say I remember Greatest American Hero.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that.
With that nice tight perm.
I don't even remember what network it was on. I rarely watch. It was not a good show. Like I remember, I was like, I'm thinking, Tom, this is marketed directly for like the character is my age. I'm not enjoying the show. Like it's mildly entertaining at best. Mildly.
Oh, like John Deshane's question here: is hobo politically correct these days?
Yeah. How about the littlest?
The littlest random traveler.
An independent traveler.
The ownershiply challenged dog show. In its littlest demeaning, are we size shaming? So it's like the differently sized, ownershiply challenged canine show. Yeah. Let's go with that. I don't know. All right. Do we have any guitar questions? We'll go a little longer.
Yes. Octopus ears.
Sweet. Oh, what sets power amps apart besides tubes? If two power amps both use 6L6 tubes, are they going to sound the same? Is there some circuitry that would affect the sound? Fuck, Lawrence left. Well, Tom, you're up to bat. You're the resident amp guru compared to Terry and I. But I'm just going to hazard a guess. There's got to be more than one output section design.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like Class A, Class B.
Like if there's different ways to skin a cat preamp wise, it's got to be different ways to skin a cat power amp wise.
It also depends if you're putting the power amp section into where it's clipping or not. Because if it's not clipping and it's clean, then that's not going to affect your sound as much as the preamp is. But if it's like a Plexi Marshall or Plexi style, I should say,
preamp has all the effect, Billy. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, but definitely when Michael Krause mentioned output transformers, yes, because output transformers are like my understanding is, Tom, just from hearing Dave Friedman rant on occasion, it seems it's just as hard to source a good transformer as it is to get good tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would believe so.
And I believe that because that was Dad's big thing. He would wear out transformers, and that's what would go in the amps. And you'd end up getting a new amp because he was sick of replacing output transformers. The Baldwin's gone through 2. He had Fenders that he blew PV Classic output transformer. That's what Dad blew in amps. Now, I assume that's due to dirty power / unbiased tubes. Because wouldn't you, Tom, if I plug into a place that's putting out 117, my amp, let's say, works okay. I go to the next place, and it's putting out 115. In theory, I should be rebiasing the tubes.
Right.
Yeah.
That, again, that's just my basic understanding, because a lot of that stuff just, like, when Pete talks about that stuff each Sunday, I'm just like, that's Tom's conversation. I don't need to pay attention to that. I'm of the opinion I'll worry about that if and when I ever have to deal with that.
And even in the same place, I have, you can just buy them from Amazon or wherever, but I have, like, if I'm plugging an amp in, it's just you plug it in any socket, and it's a little 3-digit, LCD, and it will give you the readout out of the outlet of what you're getting. And depending on the time of day, I can get anything.
I saw Dave was
117
using one of those on that tube video that Pete did recently there when he bought the TADs.
Okay, yeah, even in my own house, it can fluctuate from like 117, 119, the whole way up to 123, 124. It makes a big difference.
I bet.
But I use usually one of these. And that way I can take the voltage down.
Oh, that looks important.
So I can.
It looks ancient.
No, it's actually pretty new, but so I can use it's only a couple years old. I guess.
It looks like something to be seen on a workbench, Terry, by a guy who wears overalls and always has glasses perched here while wearing another pair on top of his head.
It is funny.
And never looking through the glasses, always just looking over them at you.
But
that's the guy you take your amp to, because for $100 he does anything you need to it.
And he bought it pre-World War II.
Yeah.
But
it's funny,
even though it's pretty new, they painted it that old school brown color, I think, on purpose. But it's basically like almost like a variable transformer. It's like a variac, but it only has set fixed amounts.
Right.
So you can set the incoming voltage, I think, anywhere from 215 or 218 or something up to like 224, and then you can take the output voltage and you reduce it by percentages.
Right.
So you can get it close, but it's not as adjustable as like a variac would be.
Travis says, so you mic your amp at low volume. I've only ever mic'd my amp to record. Handful of shows I've had mic'd amps, but I got to play loud on stage regardless, because I got to hear myself over the drums.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we'll put you more in the monitor. No, I want to hear my amp, because a couple times I've heard a sound come out of the monitor, Tom, and I went, who's that? And they said, that's you. And I said, that's not me. One guy re-EQ'd me to the point where I sounded amazing. I was like, holy crap. I had a fairly dark tone, but I had that CC DeVille saturated. I was like, ooh, okay. I'm going to sound like that tonight? Like, that's what the folks are hearing? Because that sounds a fucking lot better than what I'm hearing on stage. And then another time I was like, what have you done to my tone while I'm sitting you in the mix? I'm like, you don't need to. We already do that as a band. I don't sound anything like Andrew, the other guitar player. Don't worry. Well,
the other thing that Travis says here about doing the low volume is, well, the inherent problem is if your amp is like 50 to 100 watts, if you do it at low volume, you're not going to get the same thing of what you're trying to get or what you might have.
Or especially, you're using your amp for any kind of gain. You're
barely using the power amp.
The only way you're going to get it is, you got to either dime the preamp and kill the power amp. And if you don't have a master volume, well, there's only one way to get the good tone, and that's to crank it.
Yeah. So that's where I think, in a sense, it's been awesome that they've been able to bring the wattage down of amps to 20, 25 watts.
Or even
because then it's allowed that.
You can get a 1 watt amp that sounds like a Plexi.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. And you're like, well, how many speakers do you want to push with it? You're like, I only need 1. So Yeah, and I'd much rather have that, like a small head that just puts out a bunch of volume. It doesn't have
So
to be high
basically,
wattage.
to wrap up the overall question that was asked is, in theory, not really, because once you get past probably the power section of like the 6L6 tubes, anything from there is just directly to the speaker anyways. I don't think
Well,
anyone
it is all like
deviates.
you're getting no color from a power amp. In theory,
Yep.
you're getting no color
exactly.
whatsoever.
It's just what's in front of it makes any kind of difference.
Exactly. Now, tubes make a difference on that, and like say, transformers make a difference to that. Other than that, I imagine there are variants to circuitry, and like Tom said, like, is it a power amp where like all your breakup is coming from the preamp section, and that power amp, Terry, is glassy clean, or are we going the Pete Thorne route where he likes to push the power tubes as well as the preamp tubes?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I prefer myself.
Yeah, which I've never done, because I've never played, like, I played briefly with a very loud amp, but not to the point where, like, I haven't sat there at jam session, rehearsal, gig, where I'm like, the amp is giving me all of it, and I'm using the power amps as much as, power amp tubes as much. No, I've never had that. I've never played a venue where I could play loud enough that would warrant it, or afford plexiglass to put around it to do it.
Man, that power tube distortion, though, man, it'll make the hair on your arm stand up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different beast, but it's hard to control, too.
Milt asks, question, sweet. Let's see, we got 52 people watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. There we go, algorithms. Ben, yes. Are Hughes and Kentner amps worth the money they charge for them? Opinions? Just personal preference. I have said for, I don't know, the better part, pretty much since that photo was taken, that Hughes and Kentner are a great bang for the buck. What's up, Laz? Yeah, I'd say great bang for the buck. He says, I've had a Grandmeister 40 and was underwhelmed. What kind of speaker are you playing?
Yeah, I can say that for the one person I know that has one, and I've actually played through one. The only thing that kills it for me with a Grandmeister is the onboard effects. If they could actually have removed that from the amp, that would be such a nice, versatile amp. Even though there are people that do say it's soulless. But if you want clean, it's got clean. If you want crunch, it's got crunch. If you want really, really high gain, it's got it. Simple as that.
That just reminded me of something. What's up, Pops?
What's going
nice
on,
of you to join us. If I can find it, Tom, you're going to love this. Because I almost sent you a photo of it.
I agree.
I forgot.
At least 8 speakers.
All right, let's go to the Kijij.
Yeah, exactly, Michael Krebs.
Oh, a 1968 Ampeg Gemini 1. Nice. $1,400 in tweed. Weird stuff's in tweed. All right, let's see if we can find this. This will make Tom's night.
Scott Brockway, I do have a rule, though. If the manufacturer starts the B, I don't even look at it.
Some guy up in Kawartha Lakes has a shit ton of boutique pedals.
That wouldn't surprise me. Because really, honestly, what the hell is there to do up in the Kawartha Lakes?
Ooh, a Sir 112 cabinet for $450 Canadian. That's not bad.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. Scorpion speakers, pair of PV Scorpion 12s for $130.
Yeah, they go for around, the Scorpions and the Sheffields go for like about 60 or 70. Almost the same cost as a Celestian, the Junkie Celestian.
There it is. Guy in Norwood, Terry, for $1,000.
Oh,
Trainer,
wow.
Jack. And look at that top cab, Tom. That's 9.8.
9 8-inch speakers. Wow.
So that's for your highs, and then you got the 412s for the lows.
Wow. Those
Yeah,
are some
that's
large
crazy.
dust caps on those 12s.
Yep. $1,000. You know what? Tom, I would love to have that behind me, because
What's
just
the
that
head?
cab, because
Now, what
what is that?
What model head is that?
Let's see.
I'd
Doesn't
almost
matter.
think that would be a bass.
Oh, and it's got casters on the bottom cab just so it can roll off stage. It's a Trainer TS200 head, a Trainer TS98 cab, so 9/8s, and a Trainer TS412 cab. Sounds good even at low volumes. Caps were replaced a couple years ago. $1,000 your best offer. Offers curbside pickup. Doesn't offer you fucking help loading it, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would, yeah.
It's a
I think
bass.
the bass head, yeah.
It's a bass head, 1979.
400 watt.
Yeah.
With apparently
200
ventilation
watts
in
at
the side
4
of it.
ohm.
Look at that. So it's got feet so you can stand it up on end of the head if you wanted, for some reason. I don't know why you would.
Well, yeah. Well, according to this reverb thing here, people have it listed as both guitar and bass amplifier.
Looks like
This
a
one
super
guy
bass,
says,
yeah.
can
That
easily
normal?
push my Ampeg 810.
Yeah, and the inputs are normal and boost. Then you got a gain, middle,
Oh,
bass,
jeez.
treble, a 4-band EQ on top of that, and then a master
Oh,
volume.
so it is a solid state amp, okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
TS stands
Oh.
for transistor, it says. They named their solid state line TS for transistor.
well, then I'm over it. Ironically, the guy's name is Dylan that has it for sale.
They did make some. I think they made some really cool tube heads too. That's why I was surprised.
So, yeah, I saw that, Tom. I was like, "What is that?"
9
you know,
8s. That's crazy.
9/8. You know, for the highs. For the highs.
Yeah, that would
Considerably.
definitely take care of all your high and mid frequencies with 9 of them.
Oh yeah. If you went with a mid-scope tone, you'd be so scooped. It'd be awesome.
Be crazy.
Stop
The only
thinking
way
about
to
it.
counter that would be like 15s instead of 12s.
I wonder how many people have contacted him just for the 9/8 cab.
Yeah.
No, he's like, I'm selling that cab for 800, and I'm selling the other stuff for 100 a piece. That's the thing everybody wants. Yeah,
9 8.
that's something. That's something. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll go for a last round of questions here. I'm just gonna peruse the chat. Milt asked, did my dad ever use the Baldwin amp during his gigs? Yeah, that was his #1 amp for the better part of a decade. Until Transformers. One Transformer went, then the second one went, and then he didn't trust it, so I think he bought PV Classic first. He had a Classic in tweed, and then or blonde. And then he got the Vibrolux after that. Sold the PV to Bill Leader, I believe, Milt.
Must be
What was I
one of
looking
them
up? I was looking up
speakers.
something. Dang it. Forgot. Oh, well.
Yeah,
Couldn't have been
wiring
that.
9 speakers. That would be quite the challenge to do the math on that.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Just catching the end of the show. We're going to go a few more minutes here. Oh, that's what I was looking up. The tracking on the pedals. They clear customs fast, Terry. Usually stuff sits in customs for a week.
Mm-hmm.
10 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. And it
Well,
says
look,
by,
like-
yeah, like literally it was, let's see. So apparently Scott mailed the package on the 28th, Tom.
Okay.
Like, and he's like fucking West Coast or something. He's over there in your country, no less. So between the 28th to the 30th, it took to leave the U.S., scanned in on the 3rd, which was yesterday morning. Nope. When? Yeah. No. 12:58 p.m. It said, item has arrived in Canada and will be presented for review. I'm like, oh, that's a week. Nope. 10:32 p.m. She's out the door. She's processed. And you should get it Thursday, they said. And I'm thinking I might even get it Wednesday if I'm lucky.
I mean, the reality is when I ordered the lace sensors, it was the same thing. It wasn't even half a day.
No.
It was through customs.
MG, don't, just because it says Marshall, it's immediately. So, counteracted. That's it. Wow. Took me a minute. With the MG, like just walk away.
Yeah.
The MG stands for POS.
Yeah.
Plus, they have that weird carbon fiber
board material.
Well, and that, you know, I don't care about that anymore. I've decided I don't care about that so much as the fact that that cheap carbon fiber looking nylon-y Tolex crap.
Yeah.
MG, I could never get a decent tone out of one. You know, and I think they use like the cheapest speakers that they can get. Like they are, that's entry level. Just so you can have that logo on stage with you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like I said about this Harley Benton 2x212 cab. I've had the Bugera through it. I've had the little solid state purple wind through it. I've had like various amps through it, and there's only been a few that sounded good. And actually, this Trainer's speaker out through it is the only thing that's actually really sounded good, and actually made it actually sound pretty good compared to like the
UPS would not deliver tomorrow. LRM. They don't deliver anything here.
Yeah, I mean, a decent 70s Marshall 412 now is going to cost you at least $2,000 and up.
Yeah.
You know, if not $3,000 or more.
Well, it's funny because Scott says Marshall garbage. There is one kind of Marshall amp that is along the MG line that's actually pretty decent, and that's the valve state.
Oh,
Because
they shouldn't have discontinued it for the MG. It was
Yeah,
that went down.
yeah.
My biggest problem is
more likely Wednesday.
People take these 70s Marshall cabinets and then they put shit speakers in them and they still want 70s Marshall cabinet price.
Yeah.
Or they blow them and then they recone all 4 speakers. I'm like, well, now it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not worth $2,000 now. You know what I mean? It's worth like $500 maybe.
Okay, so John DeShane says, when I gig again, I'm going to go with a 212 cab. Assume he's still using his Friedman head, and then Captor X to front of house. Nice. Yeah, so essentially you're going to have enough volume to hear yourself on stage, and then out to front of house. Nice.
Yeah, that kind of would be the perfect kind of setup for doing a gig.
Mm-hmm. It was a Scott made me think he's looking for an 82 JCM 800 cab. Good luck. They're out there.
I would buy
most of those are sitting in storage lockers in the greater Los Angeles area. Still to
That's what I was just going to say. Probably tons of them in LA.
There was a guy
production line, just try and find the old speakers.
You would get a kick out of this, Tom. A guy in Pete's chat yesterday mentioned he pulled the trigger kind of because of Pete. Picked up a 77 Marshall cab with the original black backs in it.
Yeah, I have
just for something different, you know.
I have a 78 with black backs in it.
Yeah,
they're nice.
They're
not cheap though. I bought it when they were cheap.
All right. Any last questions as I wrap things up? We'll do this. We thanked the patrons an hour and a half ago. That was perfect. Well, not an hour and a half ago. We haven't even been on for an hour and a half. Oh, yeah. As a reminder, if you're joining late, for patrons and channel members, Zoom call this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Link will be on the community tab for the YouTube channel members. I'll post it likely on Saturday. Maybe Friday I'll post it. I don't know. We'll do both. And then I'll post it on Patreon on Saturday as well. See you, Zach. All good, Mark. Hey, 40 Watt Podcast. I'm back to gigging with a bigger amp and a smaller pedal board. Like 3 or 4 pedals, but 100 watt head and 212.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
I like that.
Nice. That tells me he's got a decent head. What do we got coming up this week? 2 Milt-related soda pop reactions.
Nice. I've been enjoying the soda pop videos.
I'm glad you do. Yes, check them out, folks. Tom, I have several playlists on here. Like you want to kill a week, watch the Sunday Night Hang playlist. Right? Because it's all long shows. But I think, I don't think I'm being biased because it's all my content, but the soda pop reactions are probably the most entertaining playlist.
The banana one threw me a little bit, but that wasn't your fault. I just don't get banana in a drink.
That's 2 banana-based pops I've done. And
I know.
I'm good for a while. I'm good. Oh, a 2 Rock traditional clean. It's okay, I guess.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll get you by.
Yeah, it'll get you there.
Just okay.
This week I did. Let me think. I did the orange pop from Turkey. And I did. The hell was the other one I did? Oh, I sent you the photo, Terry. The ruby red squirt.
Yeah, the ruby red squirt. Yeah.
Which again, I'm not commenting on how I felt about it, but Scott Brockway is referenced in the video. That's all I'm saying. So, as well as Milt.
I'm waiting for you to find one of those ones where it's like Thanksgiving dinner in a soda, One of those rare ones.
They got one of those sodas down there in the States.
Pop,
Well,
it's Thanksgiving. It tastes turkey, cranberry, and stuffing.
Yep. That's what
I'm going to reach out to the Soda Pop brothers. And that's why, folks, if you haven't already, watch the Soda Pop videos so we can get the numbers up before I contact these guys. Because they're like, how about you send a fellow some pops to try out? And they'll be like, but dude, you only got 40 views on each of your videos. So, not yet, Mark. I haven't had the habanero sauce again yet.
Say, well, send me some and I'll start getting more views on these. Exactly.
So, if you watch the videos, then we'll get some more soda pops to try out. What else? TL Pedals video will be out this week, which I still have to completely storyboard, shoot, edit, upload. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I would love to go to the vintage soda store, Octopus Ears. That sounds like fun. I really like that idea. Maybe we'll go together. Not enough EQ pedal reviews yet. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. I'm going to try to get this interface set up. Hopefully this is the week to get the interface set up to be able to record. Basically, I want to get that amp into a video without hearing too much of the room somehow. We're going to figure it a way. Somehow. Because I've been digging that amp. Although, now that I think about it, Terry, that amp does have that fan that... It's got a computer case fan in the amp to keep it from overheating. So, there's that sound all the time. But I don't think you'll hear that as long as I'm playing. But on the other hand, when I'm talking, you'll hear it. Because that mic will be live the whole time.
Yeah, when you're idle, you'll hear it. Just like when I had this mic down low, you can hear the case fans from underneath my computer.
Well, the problem with a closed mic with a 57, John, is then I'm stuck with trying to record through my computer. And the idea is to try to record through my phone. And I'd use an SM58 because it's the same thing. And I have half a dozen of them. I don't have any 57s. What's up? New York City pizza sucks. So we may have to finally pull the tarp off the demo rig because it's there and quieter. Or maybe do I do the douchebaggery thing, Tom? And let's just start using the PV Classic circa 1976. Here's my clean tone playing through an amp that you don't own. Your father may have, but none of us do.
You're probably never going to.
Or your grandfather may have.
Yeah. Like, that's what... I'm just wait. Like, if Tom ever decides to do a demo, it's going to be because he's blown away by an LPD pedal, and you gotta like, this is my either use the Sir or the Nags through the plexi. You know, here's my clean tone. Fuck you, Tom. Fuck you. You know,
Gotta pick it up. I'll probably use. I have to use my Pro Junior because that's fair.
You would have to use the Nags with the vintage Marshall, and then like demo an Amazon pedal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
April Fools next year.
Just turn the gain the whole way up, the level down.
Yeah.
Make it super dark. How bad can you make this sound?
Oh, we should throw that out there too. Two things. One, Tom, did you get the 109?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Tom, did you previously happen to scoop a 4-knob Vermin in your life?
I did not. I think
Okay.
I'm a 3-knob one.
Because I thought I was the only one that ever had an actual 4-knob
I
Vermin,
think
which
you're the
apparently
only
doesn't
one.
exist. So there we go. Also, Brad Guitar Miller, Terry, breaking news. There we go. Brad Guitar Miller reported in to me earlier today to relay. He goes, "Hey, wasn't there a fella in our community that's looking for, dare we say, a Lawrence Petros design, Lost Dutchman? Because that's what it'd be labeled as." And I went, I know a fella. And let me think of who that fella was. And I went, "Hey, Tom, weren't you a fella that was looking for one of those?" And Tom's like, "I am a fella, but I got the Dutch, so I'm covered." I'm like, "Okay." So we're putting it out there, folks.
Tempting, but
If anybody out there is looking for, can I?
Oh, it already sold.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
No
I
way.
went back like an hour later. It sold. It went quick.
So
it was a
briefly,
good price.
On Reverb then today was.
It was a really good price
this one
too.
is dirty as hell, but that's because it never leaves my board. The Lost Dutchman.
It was a good deal too. I think it was $175 US.
Oh, unbelievable!
The Lost Dirtman now.
I'll remember that. I'll keep you in the loop, dude. The next time I hear about something like that, I will message you as well. I know Tom's budget right now, so I'll just message Unbelievable, and we'll let him hoard them. We'll make Jens over in Norway jealous. And for those who don't know, Jens, or Jens, I don't know, Ogren, he's got everything, Terry. He puts out these photos, and you would think it's Lawrence's inventory. And he's got everything, and then, I think, what was it? In order to sell out the first run, Tom, we had one left in the first run, so I just tagged him in it. I'm like, "You don't have one of these?" He's like, "No, I don't. What's that?"
No, Mark Taft said he was the one asking you about the Lost Dutchman.
Okay. Well, apparently there was one for sale for 3 hours today, and it was $175 US plus shipping.
And Unbelievable
because
wants
when
to
you
know
showed it
about
to me,
the
Ben,
Zoom
it had
call.
only been up for like 2 hours or less.
Right. Yeah, because when Brad messaged me, by the way, I hope if Brad is lurking, he's feeling better. He's under the weather. He was home sick from work today. So what do you do, Terry, when you're home sick from work? You browse Reverb.
There you go.
And then it was around lunchtime, and I was like, I don't know if Tom's at work or not, but I'm like, it's lunchtime. I'll message Tom. And Tom replied in a timely manner, and turns out didn't need it.
I was shocked how quick
it was before.
Unbelievable, I'm filling in the gaps. Missing a few.
Time on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern is the Zoom call.
Two Choyas for sale too.
Oh, really? The lineage of the Nice Drive A. That's my secret sauce for playing bass. For smacking an Ampeg. Oh, glorious breakup. BC Rich 581. If you're a bass player. If you can ever get your hands on, or the Nice Drive A, you can get one of them, assuming we still make them, which I don't think we do. I think we're sold out. I don't know. Terry, do you know? Aren't we sold out of the Nice Drive A's right now?
I think that's been sold out for a long time now.
That's what I thought, because I haven't talked about it in a while. So, but if a fella can ever snag one of these, is what I'm saying. And you, I'm going to say about there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, a certain Canadian still hasn't done a review of his Nice Drive A.
Who?
Pete.
Oh, you know, he, as far as he knows, he's never played one of Lawrence's pedals before. I'm like, what? Because he's forgetting, and I keep forgetting to message Pete because I know he sleeps in, and by the time I know he's awake, which is usually 2 p.m. my time, I'm usually well into my day before I remember. And then by the time I remember, I know Pete's well into a session or something because it's 10 o'clock my time, so it's 7 p.m. and I know he's probably nipples deep in tone. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Terry. I just said nipples deep in tone. We need that on a shirt. I'm nipples deep in tone.
Nipples deep in tone.
I've got tone up to here. Anyone know a good mic to work with 4 amps? Mike as himself asks. I will say an SM58, aka an SM57. Industry standard.
Is it Sennheiser E906?
That's another one.
That's pretty good for remembering it off the top of my head.
Everyone's cheaper between the SM57 or 58. Whichever one's cheaper, Terry, because you know they don't price them the same all the time. If one's on sale, it doesn't matter. It's the same. It's just a different end. The guts are the same. Yeah, you do. Unbelievable. Yeah, you do.
Warriors keep nice. It'll cost you a bunch more,
I mean, when it comes to a good mic, well, the problem with that is price. There's no price limit because you can get a good mic for cheap, or you can be like, nah, I don't want a cheap good mic. I want a good mic. Okay, well then you pay $300 to $500 for a mic.
Or like a stereo pair that's like.
Because I realize, Terry, I'm not going to have them all. Like I'll never have all the pedals. So if I can't have them all, I might as well, send this on his way because I know he wants it. I realize there's quite a lip here because the back isn't even the right color. Like it's clearly, and it's. I don't even think it's for. These are mismatched, unless it's a very thick coating, which it's not because it's flush on this side. Actually, it's offset on this side. It's okay on the ends. It's width, but yeah, I think I was supposed to send this to Unbelievable a while ago because he doesn't have one of these, and this is a very rare. And Tom, do I need a 28 decibel clean boost?
That's a lot.
I thought that's a lot.
That is that's almost to the point of amp level.
You got to hit something with low headroom with that, so it just starts saturating more and more. I hit this thing into a Fender, all it does is make my ears bleed. I'm like, that is loud.
On a Fender, oh yeah, that would be, it'd be the worst amp to put that into. Twin.
Well, I just remember Lawrence said easy with it. He goes, easy. Like, just make sure the knob's way down when you first engage. Otherwise, careful. You don't want to be kneeling down at the pedal board with the speaker right there and then you accidentally engage.
So I mean, like a Twin's already like a massively loud, higher kind of tone level amp, and if you actually threw that onto it, I'd be like super kill people. instantly death.
What I'm checking out here is I want to see if one, if this thing is numbered, and two, if it's signed. Lawrence doesn't sign the stuff over to me as much anymore. Unless it's like, don't share this. Okay. I get it. Survey says, for me. Okay. It's got Lawrence Petros, 4 Ben Coombs, 612, 19.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. Even focused for us. How nice.
He's got a nice signature, actually.
He does. Excellent penmanship. And then that's the guts of her. Well, that side of the guts of her.
Yeah.
So there we are. Oh, well, on that note, on Tom's yawn.
Sorry.
By the way, Hip Metalworks, I will get that fret rocker in the mail. That's why I keep saying it every week. It's like
Pass
Steve
on
talking
in
about
time.
doing the studio tour videos. It's coming. Honest. Oh, itchy nose. There we go. Parting words, Terry?
Thanks everyone for watching my videos that I've posted and the feedback on the new webcam and the dual webcam setup.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Looks a little brighter. I don't know. Now that you mention it.
Good stuff.
Sure. I'd say we get a new webcam too. Probably do. I've had this one for a few years. Then I can have two as well. Then I, like Steve, can have crotch cam. Well, this thing supports multi-cam now, so since it supports it, then I can have pedalboard cam. And then all I need is the damn bandwidth, and then I can start jamming live on the inner tubes again. And they're like, you suck! I'm like, go watch an Eddie Van Halen video then. I don't care. I play like me.
Thank you, John. And that's also what I noticed, the difference between this Logitech Brio 4K cam and the Logitech C20. Because there's more crispness and detail in it.
Well, it makes sense if it's 4K instead of...
It's picking up
even
on-
though it's not 4K, because we only shoot at like 780 or 720
Yeah.
or whatever that 700 number
It's
is.
downscale.
It's capturing the light better though too.
Holy crap, these screws
Yeah.
aren't even all the same size.
Like you can see the definition of your brick wall better.
Yeah.
Like these screws are not the
Yeah.
same size.
Yeah, the screws
It
almost
is
look
just a
like they're
mess
too
to feel.
big.
Holy crap on the cracker. Talk about prototype.
Those look like the type of screws that are like on the larger enclosures.
Yeah, I literally just grabbed a back, grabbed some screws.
He was like,
Although I wish I do dig the laser etching on the side. I always thought that was a nice touch. He needs to bring that back. Just saying. Bring that back. Maybe on the end, like an LPD logo right there, if he brings back the mini pedals. Laser etched.
there you go.
Yep. File that one away. Unbelievable. You let Lawrence know that during the next martini lunch, will you? Tell him one of Ben's ideas. Take it or leave it. And he'll probably leave it. Yeah, these screws don't even fit in. That screw is an offset head. That's a factory second screw.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if it'll. Let's focus. Focus on the screw. On the screw. There, Ben.
It's got the dual thread thing.
No, it's the actual top. The Robbie bit is slightly askew. Like there's more top on one side. So on that note, Tom, parting words?
I don't know. I'm good.
I hear you. Me too. Been a great show. Thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. We still have 45 watching at this point in time. We'll put these back after the show. Ben, end it first. All right, we will. So, if you're watching Canucks tomorrow, 1 p.m. Terry, if you want to be around and moderate. Tom, if you're around, 1 p.m.
have a
tomorrow
desk
with Canucks.
Sounds
We're talking
good.
short track action from Richmond.
I should be done physical therapy by then, so
Doug has not.
Awesome.
Charles might be around as well. He usually jumps in on
thanks,
those.
Charles.
Keith
Oh,
H
thanks,
jumps
Gretch.
in on occasion.
It's
We
called
usually have a few
laziness,
people
that's
hanging out
definitely-
lately.
thank you.
Different people, Terry. It seems like we got 3 or 4 people each week watching live, but it's different 3 or 4 people each week.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. Did I leave that on? That's been on for a week and a half, I bet. Nope. Sweet. Anyways, distracted. Yep. Aaron loves that. Tom loves it too. Look at he's smirking. I can see. He's like, yep, there's look, squirrel. Yep. So as always, Tom, Terry, Ben, you've been you. And we'll see what's I don't know, Friday premiere. We'll see about that. That's the wild card this week. That's a wild card. So if you haven't
How's
already,
the twang at the end?
What?
How's the twang at the end?
Oh, twang at the end. Twang.
Wang.
Hey, Twang, we got a road trip set up for you. All it involves was you, Terry, and barbecue. Gotta get a barbecue. Once I get a barbecue, apparently you're coming down for a road trip. We're having a Canucks barbecue or something.
Sausage Fest 2022.
That's it. Yep. And weather permitting. So on that note, they're them, I'm me, you're you. Guest this Sunday. I haven't mentioned that because I don't have one yet. Unconfirmed. Possibly a fellow YouTuber. Possibly somebody from the YouTube community, which means same thing, but doesn't put out videos. But
join us Sunday for the mystery guest.
Yes, I can say Easter Sunday, which is the next Sunday. We have RJ Ronquillo returning.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I asked him to come on this Sunday, but he's like, no, can't do. It's the wife's birthday. He goes, Easter Sunday work for you? I'm like, hell's yeah, it does. So we're doing that. On that note, and I got Guitar Town Hall. Well, oh yeah, totally forgot to plug that. Guitar Town Hall this Thursday. We have Andy Allendort coming on talking about his live rig. We're doing a rig rundown type thing. Andy Allendort.
Nice.
Which, you don't know, his backing band is basically Double Trouble.
That's cool.
Right? It's SRV's old buddies that he plays with. So that's cool. That's going to be fun. And then we were back to the weekend again, and we'll do it all again, folks. So thanks, everybody that tuned in. Special shout-out to everybody that contributed tonight. Appreciate it. All proceeds are going towards barbecue for me, because I want a fucking barbecue. Then Mark can come over and barbecue. We have barbecue. Yes, barbecue. Yep. So hold those doors open. Let Doug's wife ahead in traffic, otherwise she'll litter on you.
Because she's real.
Because she's real. Well, she couldn't do it unless she was. What are we going to use for...
Well, thanks, Pops.
Excuse me. What? Which one? That one? Yeah. Sure. No, we ended with that one last week. We can't do that one. That was the lesson video. I know that Tom likes this one.
Okay.